Hello everybody, welcome to TCOM 101. I'm Dr. Mike Gerhard from the Department of Telecommunications. In this video we're going to discuss the concept of media literacy, which is also discussed in Chapter 1 of the textbook. I'm not going to repeat a lot of what's in Chapter 1. I'm going to try and add some material, give you my perspective on the idea of this concept of media literacy. And I want you to know this is a complex topic. The idea of media literacy has many facets. First, media. What kind of media should you be literate in? Print, broadcast, internet, advertising, news. Right? So, and literacy, what does that mean? What skills are involved? Does that mean you know how to access or analyze or create content? So it's complex. It has many facets. Now, here for me is the basic starting line to all media literacy. And it's a pretty simple concept. And it's an old Latin phrase, caveat lector, which translates as let the reader beware. By reader here, we mean the audience member, whether you're reading, listening, watching, or engaged in like a video game, you're still the reader. Well, beware, that means always be skeptical. Don't take anything for granted. No matter if it's printed in a news story, or you hear it on a credible website, or if your professor says it, be a little bit skeptical about everything. You know, there was a famous philosopher and educator named John Dewey, and he loved skepticism. He said skepticism is the mark and even the pose of the educated mind. All right, back to the topic of media literacy. One of the groups that promotes this, and the idea has been around for about 20 years, 25 years. I first heard about it in the 1990s. The idea of media literacy and media education. Well, one group that promotes this is the National Association for Media Literacy Education. Here's that group's definition. Media literacy is the ability to access, analyze, evaluate, create, and act using all forms of communication. Boy, that's a big skill set. You know, you will be learning a lot of these skills as a student in TCOM at Ball State. You know, we'll teach you how to get access to equipment and tools that you need. In the courses, we'll definitely teach you how to analyze and critically evaluate media content. In the production classes, we'll show you how to create compelling content. And to act, that means what we do, as we're using it, whether it's social media or anything else, but how we act out using here all forms of communication. So this definition covers everything: print, digital, radio, music, would include all forms of communication. But that is a lot to teach somebody. Now, it's great to teach media literacy because it really empowers people, okay? It empowers them to be critical thinkers, to be effective communicators themselves, and to be more active as citizens. Here's another definition of media literacy that comes from dictionary.com. And look at the focus here. Media literacy is the ability or skills to critically analyze for accuracy, credibility, or evidence of bias the content created and consumed in various media. So this looks at your ability to critically evaluate the information that you see in the media in terms of its accuracy, credibility, or any kind of bias. This alone would be a good skill set to have when confronting the media on a daily basis, especially the worlds of news and advertising. So, media literacy, I really like the idea because it builds an understanding in people of the role of the media in society, and it helps people develop the skills of inquiry and self-expression that are necessary for citizens of a democracy. I think media education really empowers people. Now, I could talk about many principles of media literacy, but I'm just going to introduce you to one of them that you'll run into during your coursework here in TCOM and other courses and departments at Ball State University. And this is the idea that audiences negotiate their own meaning when they encounter a media message. This is the idea that we don't respond the same way to all media messages. The way we respond is based on our background, our predispositions, our worldview. There's a lot of variables that go into how we find meaning in the media messages that we consume. So let me talk about the basic different ways that we sometimes read a text. Now, when I say read, again, that means to listen, watch, view, actually read, but when we're consuming content. And here, a text is any form of media content. A text could be a song, a poem, a TV show, a movie, a video game, a billboard. All right, but think about any form of content. Maybe it's a documentary or a news story. There's three basic ways that people interpret and find meaning when they encounter a message. The first way is called the preferred reading. That's when you buy into the message. You're in complete agreement with it. You wrap your arms around it and you accept it as probably the creator of the message intended. You fall into complete agreement. Now, the opposite of that is an oppositional reading. This is when you're watching a show or consuming a message or something or reading something and you're pushing back. You're in complete disagreement. You're pushing back hard, and challenging almost everything that you're seeing. Now, a third way that we can read a text is the negotiated reading, where we agree with some of the content and maybe push back a little bit at it, but it's more of a partial agreement. So this is a typology or a framework that explains, in many cases, how an audience member reacts to a message. And I'd like to ask you sometimes, when you're watching something, what kind of reading are you doing? Oppositional reading, sometimes to me it sounds like hate watching or hate viewing. And I think it is a form of that. Anyway, how to read a text. One of the basic principles of media literacy. All right, a closely related concept, I think, not exactly the same, but closely related, I think, and it's really important in the digital age and the rise of mobile devices and the rise of powerful computing technology, is the idea of digital citizenship. What is digital citizenship? Okay, now, there's a difference, obviously, between a good digital citizen and a bad digital citizen. What's good digital citizenship? Well, it's responsible use of technology and etiquette pertaining to your presence online. Okay? In short, it means you have good etiquette and you try to be responsible and not be a troll or an agitator or, I guess, a dick. Good digital citizenship, respectful communication, respecting the privacy of others, keeping an open mind, and not being a troll, but giving helpful information or constructive feedback. Bad digital citizenship? Yeah, that's behaviors like cyberbullying, doxing, trolling, deep fakes, spreading false information, catfishing, a number of these sorts of negative behaviors. So good digital citizens respect and protect private information. They understand the health and wellness consequences of using the media, especially the social media. A good digital citizen knows how to stay safe online and probably limits the amount of time they spend online and occasionally unplug for their mental health. A good digital citizen respects themselves and others. They stand up against cyberbullying. They respect copyright and intellectual property. And, very important here, they carefully manage their digital footprint. We are now in this world today leaving a permanent footprint of our most private information, and we need to be very, very careful about the trail that we're leaving behind. All right, that's my take on some of my ideas related to the idea of media literacy. It's a very, very complex topic, and just become literate in one area is a major challenge. Just to be literate about film as an art form is a tremendous talent, okay? And it's very difficult to be smart about everything, but media literacy encourages us to be skeptical and to try and be smart. So please don't ever forget this. Caveat lector, let the reader beware. It'll be on the next exam. And please help me make Orwell fiction again. This is Dr. Mike. Please take care of yourself and each other during the coronavirus pandemic of 2020. Take care, and I will see you soon. So long.